percent. Winds are fairly calm. That's going to keep the foggy conditions around here. Rising barometer 29.68 inches and rising. You can see right around here on the east side of town or the west side of town, conditions fairly clear, but once you move into the city and farther off to the east, the fog gets really thick and heavy in some rural areas. Let's go ahead and look at the map. Who gets the fog today? Well, most of Iowa, most of the rain well to the south. Here's the forecast for the next 5 days. 74 degrees today. That fog should burn off by this afternoon.
It's here! Our huge Simmons Beauty Rest truckload mattress sale. We're loaded with a gigantic selection and tremendous truckload savings.
Sleep like a queen with Bedland's Queen Truckload Sale. Get a Simmons Luxury Quilted Queen for just $289 or a top-of-the-line Queen Beauty Rest set for just $499.
Save big at our Beauty Rest truckload sale, but hurry before it's gone.
Live at 5, Central Iowa's #1 afternoon newscast.
And new Miss America 1993, Leanza Cornett, Miss Florida.
And straight from Atlantic City to Studio 3B this morning is Miss America 1993. She's Leanza Cornett. And while she's the 66th to hold the title, she's Florida's first Miss America. In this half hour, we'll ask her if she's getting used to wearing that zany tiara. And we're back at 7:30. Stone Phillips is here for Bryant Gumbel. I like that tiara, don't you? It's a look.
Rhinestones kind of in, aren't they?
They always have such a hard time getting it on, though, and then keeping it on when they take that, what do you call that, victory walk?
I guess that's what they call it.
Yeah, anyway. Well, moving on to other matters. It hasn't been very long since Jim Baker moved his stuff from the State Department back to the White House. But as we'll see in just a few moments, the Bush campaign in that short time has taken on a new look and a new energy. Stone?
And when Hurricane Andrew ripped into South Florida a month ago, we went up in a helicopter to show you the damage. This morning, we'll go back up in that chopper to show you how the cleanup efforts are coming along. Katie?
But first, the news, and Ann Curry, who's in for Margaret Larson. Good morning again, Ann.
Good morning again, Katie. In the news this morning, European leaders are praising Sunday's vote in France that preserves hopes for a unified Europe. French voters narrowly approved the Maastricht Treaty, which, among other things, calls for a single European currency by 1999. The president of France called it one of the most important days in his country's history. President Bush addresses a special session of the United Nations General Assembly this morning. He's expected to support a call for expanding the UN's peacekeeping role. Sunday, the president met with finance ministers from around the world. The ministers are in the U.S. to consider ways of easing the European currency crisis. Democrat Bill Clinton is in Chicago today, where he's expected to be endorsed by a group of business leaders. Sunday, he spoke at a voter registration rally on Chicago's South Side. Today, UN weapons inspectors are heading back to Iraq. This time, they'll be checking on the destruction of chemical weapons. Today, also, a Senate committee opens hearings on American POWs and MIAs from the Vietnam War. The panel will hear from several former secretaries of state, including Henry Kissinger and Alexander Haig, on whether U.S. prisoners were left behind when the Vietnam War ended. In Chicago Sunday, at least 6 people were hurt when a drawbridge that was closed for repairs suddenly opened, sending debris on cars below. A construction crane fell more than 20 feet, its wrecking ball smashing onto the back seat of a car. Amazingly, no one in that car was hurt. At least one person was hurt last night near Kansas City, where violent weather tore through the area. Tornadoes there knocked down trees and power lines and damaged some homes and overturned cars. In Sunday Night Football, the Buffalo Bills improved at 3-0 with a 38-0 win over the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts fell to 1-2. Also this morning, 2 Belgians won the first balloon race across the Atlantic. They flew over the coast of Portugal this morning, 5 days after taking off from Bangor, Maine. They beat teams from 4 other countries, including the U.S. The Dutch team had trouble with the weather and ditched near Britain this morning, and the 2 balloonists had to be rescued from the ocean, but they are said to be okay. It is now 7:33, time for today's weather and Willard.
This morning's weather is brought to you by The Gap, where you always find just what fits, from jackets to jeans.
You got that right, Josie. Hey, listen, these are little horns. That's all that's left of the beef that they sent us. It was delicious. We ate the tail and everything. Made little oxtail soup. The 19th Annual National Beef Cook-Off, sponsored with the American National Cattle, Women, and Beef Industry Council, had their big cook-off, and the winner was John Hund of San Francisco. He had margarita beef with orange salsa. Sounds terrific. I hope they send us a recipe next time. Also checking out on a birthday this morning, it's a little bit gray and cloudy and muggy, a little bit of everything. Fall begins officially tomorrow, you know. And this is Tenny Sasser of Pineville, Louisiana. Pretty as a picture. For years, traveled by horseback to visit family and friends. 100 today. Happy birthday. And we turn the page of life. Mary Harnash of Thousand Oaks, California is 100, can still entertain her family and friends with a little Mozart on the piano. Isn't that nice? Terrific. Amadeus, that was him. He was a friend of mine. Week's temps much above normal in the northern plain states, the northern Rockies, above normal in the central plains and the inner Rocky Mountain region. Colder than normal this time of the year anyway, generally east of the Mississippi. Only going to get up to the 60s Wednesday here in Washington, and there'll be some scattered showers east of the Mississippi, milder west of the Mississippi, windy in the northern plains. Now, here's what's happening in your world even as we speak.
Well, as we are all waking up here in central Iowa, it looks like most of the wet weather is down here to our southeast, a frontal boundary extending from the Great Lakes back down into Texas. Also some light scattered rain out here to the west. We have a chance for some drizzle here this morning, and along with that drizzle, we're going to have some morning fog, eventually burning off by 2 this afternoon, becoming partly cloudy, a high of 74, breezy conditions in the afternoon, and then tonight, mostly clear skies down to 43. That fog will be long gone, and on Tuesday, sunny skies and 68 for a high temperature, breezy conditions.
We have a hurricane out in the Atlantic. It's about 750 miles northeast of Bermuda, but keep a weather eye. The name is Bonnie. Bonnie, like Rhett and Scarlett's little girl. Don't forget the NBC weather line. We love this. Just call 1-900-WILLARD. Touch-tone phone, 95 cents a minute, 2-minute average. Parental permission if you're under 18, and you can call almost any place in the whole world. Find out what it's going to be like at Katie Couric's estate on the Rappahannock, or not the Rappahannock, the
Shenandoah.
Shenandoah. Anyway,
hey, Willard?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it safe to say that right now your Bonnie lies over the ocean?
Oh, and my Bonnie lies over the sea, and my ratings are climbing, and I hope that we're having lunch today.
Aye. Okay, thanks, Willard. It is 7:36. With the White House operation and his re-election campaign floundering, President Bush last month turned to the one man he thought could salvage his presidency, James Baker. That move just before the GOP convention in Houston was timed to show the campaign was back on track. 1 month later, the Baker touch is now being felt. NBC News White House correspondent Jim Miklaszewski reports.
If you want to catch a glimpse of Jim Baker these days, you've got to get up pretty early in the morning. Take a quick look, because that's all you'll get. Out on the stump, Baker's been the invisible man, but his fingerprints are all over the campaign.
And I'll start by cutting the White House budget 33% if the Congress cuts its own budget by the same amount, with fewer
For 9 months, the White House couldn't produce a game plan for the economy. Baker and his team hammered one out in 2 weeks. Baker's philosophy, if you've got it, flaunt it. So with the power of the presidency, Bush passed out fighter jet contracts and wheat subsidies.
I want to assure them that we'll be here to help in every way we can.
And within hours after Hurricane Andrew hit Florida, Bush was at ground zero. When Baker arrived, he found the White House and campaign in disarray. Instantly, he provided leadership, discipline, and direction. David Gergen worked with Baker back in the Reagan White House.
He sets goals. He's very decisive. He's crisp. He doesn't do a lot of BS, and he just gets to the point and moves.
And he leaves no doubt about who's in charge.
There is no other figure inside the White House or in the campaign who can challenge his preeminence.
With Baker in charge, the Bush message got sharper and more coherent.
It used to be that if you missed what George Bush said today, forget it, you'd never hear it again. Now you turn on the evening news and you hear the president talking about the same thing over again, jobs and the economy, jobs and the economy.
And with Baker in charge, it's turned nasty, zeroing in on Clinton's character, his draft record, and his economic plan, comparing it to failed socialist policies of the past.
Buying my opponent's prescription for the economy would be like going out to the used car lot down the road and buying the lemon that you got rid of 12 years ago.
When it comes to down and dirty, Jim Baker is no wimp. He presided over the Bush campaign that brought you Willie Horton 4 years ago. But this time around, some feel it could be too late, even for Baker.
I think George Bush didn't bring Jim Baker over for 2 main reasons. A, he thought the economy was going to turn around. B, he didn't really want Jim Baker there. He wanted to do it on his own.
If Baker has any hope to become president himself, Bush has to win. But Baker is a survivor. If Bush wins, he'd get much of the credit. If Bush loses, he'd get little blame. For today, Jim McLashevsky, NBC News, the White House.
And still to come this morning, Linda McCartney and her new book of photographs of the pop stars who gave voice to the 1960s. And when we come back, if Stone can contain himself, the new Miss America. Aw, shucks, but first, messages.
Sky fits heaven, so ride it. Lips fit mouths, so kiss them. And the face they adorn reminds you of someone you once knew long ago, familiar as these blue jeans.
Sure beats that Choco-Puffo flaky stuff, huh?
Why start out with cold cereal when you can have the warmth of cream of wheat in an instant?
2 coffees and a sweet and low.
And now what?
They want a coffee and a sweet and a low.
They're never gonna leave.
I fix it.
Oh, salamia.
We asked for sweet and low.
I'm so sorry. This is all that we got.
Well, then we're leaving.
So soon.
Sweet and low. For millions of people, there's just no equal.
All-natural Butter Bud Sprinkles and Mix from the makers of Sweet and Low. It has the flavor of butter because it's made with butter. But every serving has no fat, no cholesterol, and low sodium. So you can enjoy all these dishes and find a new use for this one.
These glasses are always slipping. Can lens crafters help?
Sure. You need spring hinges that flex to keep their lasting fit. How's that?
Real secure and comfortable.
And they'll stay that way.
Lens crafters better fit for greater comfort in about an hour.
Call Nutrisystem now and get a start on losing 24 pounds by Christmas. A start on dropping a couple of dress sizes by New Year's Eve. A head start on losing 38 pounds in time for a spring wedding. Call Nutrisystem now and get started for a great price. $19 for our Get Started package. New counseling, new support, new motivation. Nutrisystem meals additional. Get started on a whole new life. Length of program limited, so call 1-800-321-THIN now.
Saturday night in Atlantic City, New Jersey, a long-standing tradition came alive once again.
And the winner and new Miss America 1993, Leanza Cornett, Miss Florida.
Leanza Cornett, Miss Florida, became the 66th Miss America, the first ever from the Sunshine State. The 21-year-old college sophomore is a singer and actress who will wear more than the rhinestone tiara during her reign. She'll also be wearing a red ribbon to show her solidarity with and compassion for people with AIDS. Leanza Cornett, good morning. Congratulations.
Good morning. Thank you very much.
Have you had a chance to catch your breath after having won the title?
No, not yet. I'm still waiting. It's been fun, though. Lots of fun.
You're wearing again this morning the red ribbon,
yes,
signifying the solidarity with people who are suffering from AIDS.
Mm-hmm.
A big part of the pageant these days is having the contestants pick an issue or a platform on which they will promote over the course of the year. And we heard about single-parent families, eating disorders, breast cancer. You selected AIDS awareness. Why?
There's so many issues out there that really need to be taken a stand on by all the women of America, and it was nice to see all the different issues. The reason I chose AIDS is because it's been something that's been a part of my life with friends, people in the theater, women that I know, men that I know, and it's just I've had a conviction about it for quite some time. So I started volunteering this year, and it seemed only natural to carry it over into my platform when I entered the pageant.
What kind of a difference do you think you can make?
Well, the wonderful thing about being Miss America is that I have a voice. I mean, here I am on national TV, and it's given me a bigger voice, something that I can speak out on and educate people about. And I think people will listen to me even more so than they listen to me as Miss Florida or just as Leanza Cornett, for instance.
There is so much denial still in this country about AIDS, and so much heated debate in communities about when and how to start educating young people. Was there any wariness at all on the part of the pageant officials that this was the issue you were going to talk about and promote this year?
Not at all. The pageant officials have been wonderful. Everybody involved in the pageant, Regis and Kathy Lee, everyone involved had red ribbons on that evening. The judges had red ribbons on. And the pageant officials have been wonderfully supportive, and and I think they're excited about it because they are very aware that it's an issue that has to be addressed.
You know, we should go to some more of the videotape from Saturday night because you really haven't seen much of it yet.
No. Everybody I've talked to always says, you have to look at your eyes because they're as big as saucers. I have not seen the tape.
Let's listen to a little bit of your performance. So what do you think? Not bad, huh?
No, it's a great song, and I was very happy to get an arrangement that I liked, and it's neat to see it for the first time.
Now you also, you're a college student, but you also entertain. You work at Disney World,
That's
I think?
Right, Disney MGM.
And you have been singing the part of Ariel,
yes.
the Little Mermaid down at Disney World.
It's a great job. Wouldn't have traded it for the world.
Now, is entertainment something that you will want to continue after this year?
Definitely, definitely. It's a passion. I love it. I've been doing it practically all my life. I started in church on stage, and I want to continue for the rest of my life. Ultimately, Broadway. That's my goal.
Now, for this to be a really satisfying year for you as Miss America, what will you have to have done? What will have to have happened?
Well, on the issue of my campaign against AIDS, I want to educate everyone everywhere, make people more aware of it, and also provide compassionate assistance to people who are living with AIDS. There are so many people out there, over 200,000 people in our country who are living with AIDS right now, and to provide assistance for them and to educate people about them and to get more funding, make the White House more aware of it. It's something that I really plan to stress in my walk as Miss America and my reign as Miss America.
Leanza Cornett, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for being here this morning.
Thanks for having me.
This is Today on NBC.
When we opened Reichardt's clothing store in 1952,